Representing the Indian side, Dr. Chandan Mitra, Maruf Raza and Kawal Sibal. Representing the Pakistani point of view, Syed Tariq Pirzada, Zafar Hilali and Admiral Javed Iqbal. Gentlemen, thank you very much. Let's go into the debate. Syed Tariq Pirzada, it is one thing that you organized the attack on the Indian Parliament, but it is another thing that your Parliament now passes a resolution effectively supporting the attack on the Indian Parliament by talking about Afzal Guru. Aren't you making your support to terror and your involvement in terror a little bit too explicit for your own good?
You know, your question begs something that I do want to point out to. It implies that you are not in a mood to accept a democratic verdict by the democratically elected Parliament of Pakistan in the exercise of its total and absolute sovereign right to pass judgment on its issues of national security. You just don't seem to swallow the reality that Pakistan has become a democratic state.
Is Afzal Guru a Pakistani? Was Afzal Guru a Pakistani?
I'm getting
was
the
Afzal Guru a Pakistani?
I'm getting the sense.
Was Afzal Guru a Pakistani? I'm not sure.
He was a Kashmiri. He was a Kashmiri freedom fighter, and this is why the resolution has been passed by the Parliament of Pakistan, and because Kashmir is an internationally recognized dispute, and it has to be resolved. It is yet to be resolved. And Shimla agreement has to be honored.
Yep.
And read the last paragraph of the Shimla agreement.
You forgotten the Shimla agreement.
It says very clearly that the reason the line, a ceasefire line, was converted into line of control, the reason was that the two sides were supposed to start negotiation for the resolution of Kashmir.
Syed Tariq Pirzada, I read it, but you are not reading it, and nor are you. You are apparently not well versed in it. Otherwise, you would have known that point number 5 says they will always respect each other's national unity, territorial integrity, political independence and sovereign equality. And
Kashmir is not a part of Indian Union. It was declared the prerequisite, as a disputed
you
area.
want to spoil relations. It's one
That's
thing.
What I'm saying. Read the Shimla agreement.
I remember no Indian forgets the Shimla agreement, nor the manner in which a bludgeoned Pakistan signed it. But the fact is, it says that the prerequisite to reconciliation is non-interference in each other's internal affairs. You have interfered in our internal affairs.
All the complaints.
Let's get Chandan Mitra in. Chandan, just 1 minute. Let's get a first.
Quickly make one small point. May I just quickly make a small point? The problem is this, that India is not willing to resolve the issue of Jammu and Kashmir. So we have a situation in which your complaints continue.
There's no complaint.
Our complaints continue.
There's no complaint.
The line of control remains active, and that's why we have this discussion at the present time.
No, I give it to Maruf first. Please, Maruf, respond to the position taken by Syed Tariq Pirzada that we have every business passing a resolution on Afzal Guru. What is it amounting to?
Mr. Pirzada has, to my mind, raised 3 key points. One is he talks about the democratic nature of Pakistan's polity, and therefore they can pass any resolution. By that yardstick, Pakistan should accept the fact that India has been a functioning democracy for 65 years, and many resolutions passed by the Indian Parliament, I don't know if Pakistan is willing to accept that. Way back in 1994, the Indian Parliament had also passed a resolution which was then backed by even some Hurriyat leaders to say that all of the erstwhile J&K before 15th of August 1947 is part of the Union of India. And more importantly, more recently, Kashmiris have voted on more occasions than one in the last 10 years to join and play the game as per the Indian constitutional system, and which has had a reasonably good turnout, certainly a much larger turnout than the numbers of people who voted to join the Union of Pakistan on 15th August 1947, if I was to remind the audience of the history. The second point is Afzal Guru's now being given a sanctimonious stature by the Pakistani parliamentarians or senators or the Legislative Assembly. They are therefore confirming, even in the minds of those people, that Afzal Guru may or may not have been completely involved with the terror attacks. There is a section which believe that he was wrongly blamed for it. Now this becomes clearly established that Afzal Guru was, therefore he has his support from his mentors in Pakistan.
1 second.
And most importantly, and the third point, Orna.
But the Pakistan government admitted that. One second.
Orna, please.
Maruf, I just want small
let me
point.
complete the Orna, please, let me give the third point, and
Okay.
that is about the Shimla Agreement. The Shimla Agreement, last article of the Shimla Agreement says that representatives of both countries will meet at a suitable time in future to work out a mutually acceptable
Not
arrangement
suitable time.
over Jammu
Immediately.
and Kashmir. It doesn't talk.
It
The
says,
Shimla
I would
Agreement does
respectfully
not
say,
mention
Maruf,
the
it
line of
says
control. The line of control was the ceasefire line
Please do
given
not
a
change the
political
Shimla
connotation
Agreement.
after Bhutto's promise that he would respect the line of control as a de jure border. Therefore, it was given a political connotation.
No, but our guest
the
from
line
Pakistan
of control
knows.
doesn't figure prominently in the Shimla Agreement.
Tonight, Maruf, gentlemen, 1 second. Tariq Pirzada and Maruf Raza. No, 1 second. Let's go back to why we are doing this discussion on the Newshour Debate. Today, the Pakistan Parliament has dared, and the operational word is dared, has dared to pass a resolution on Afzal Guru. Now, my humble submission here is, Maruf, in addition to your argument, which I am sure both Zafar Hilali and Admiral Javed Iqbal will admit is, actually, the government of Pakistan has already agreed. Officially, it has admitted. Rather, should I use the word, Mr. Hilali confessed the involvement of Pakistan terror groups backed by the ISI in the attack on the Indian Parliament. So I don't understand this,
Absolutely.
Mr. Hilali. You admit you carried out the attack, and then you pass a resolution condemning the execution of the man who carried out the attack. What kind of logic is this?
I think you must be, as usual, Mr. Gopaswamy, hallucinating.
Goswami, yeah.
And now you are pleading for his release.
Goswami, Mr. Goswami, yes.
Now, Mr. Goswami, you are again, as usual, hallucinating. Let me begin by saying two things. Number one, that nothing that happens in Indian-occupied Kashmir is only a matter for India.
No, answer my question.
Everything that happens in Kashmir is a matter not only for India, but Pakistan and actually the United Nations. Number one. If that had not been the case, then why is it that India has complained and sent off notes after notes when we sign border agreements with China? Are you laying claim to Pakistan also?
Okay.
If it was not disputed territory, why send off notes saying that you are giving up territory which belongs?
No, 1 minute. Don't give. You're giving me the same argument. My very pointed question to you is, Mr.
I'm not
Hilali.
giving you.
Mr. Hilali, 1 second.
He's misinterpreting the facts.
Mr. Hilali,
That's not true.
Mr. Hilali.
Mr. Hilali, sir, with respect,
I'm listening.
India
I'm
has
listening.
objected to the transfer of 5,000 square kilometers of territory in the Shaksgam Valley to China because the entire state of J&K is part of the Union of India, which became part of the Union of India under the same arrangement that led to the creation of Pakistan. So if you challenge the accession of Kashmir to the Union of India, please look into the mirror and ask yourself, how was Pakistan created?
I have a... No, 1 second, Maruf. Let's not go away from my basic line of questioning.
I have not challenged the accession. The UN... And so has India said that the accession of Kashmir will be decided in accordance with a plebiscite. I have not challenged it.
Mr. Hilali.
India itself has said that they will do what they promised the UN and have not done as yet. Now let's get on to the matter of Afzal
You haven't
Guru.
answered my question, Mr. Hilali. You have run away from my question, Mr. Hilali. Yes. My question to you, Mr. Hilali, is this. Javed Ashraf Qazi, former ISI chief, was he ever in politics in Pakistan? Is it true he had some railway minister portfolio in 2004? Am I correct?
Yes, I mean, make the point.
Yeah, thank you. No, I just wanted, because you'll tell me I don't know him. That's why I'm setting the base for my
question. Don't think he's in politics. I don't think he's in politics. I don't think he can get more people voting for him than are in his house.
That's your assumption. Now let me tell you this. In March
Tell me
2004,
where he has gone
in
in
March
between this
2004, General Javed Ashraf Qazi, former ISI chief retired, said we carried out, and our Jaish-e-Mohammed carried out the attack on the Indian Parliament. And he said it is time for us to admit that the Jaish carried out the attack, that we bombed the Indian Parliament, that they murdered Daniel Pearl, and they tried to assassinate President Musharraf. And I can tell you that, sir, he was participating in a debate in the Senate on Musharraf's address to the joint sitting of Parliament. Go back at the records, sir. What are you denying today? What are you denying?
Well, all I can say to you is that I do not listen to what Javed Ashraf Qazi says
convenient.
because I have much better things to do.
Convenient.
However, if you say that he has said that, I can give you his number. I suggest you call him and ask him to explain why he said what he said.
Well, many Pakistani generals are known to change their positions, so I will not take that at face value. Chandan Mitra, the story today is that Pakistan's assembly has passed this resolution on Afzal Guru. How should we respond?
Well, I think two things are very clear from this, Arnab, and I hope the Pakistani guests on your channel will appreciate what I say. I think two things are proven. Number one, as far as the world is concerned, Pakistan has declared itself, has confessed to being a terrorist state.
Yeah.
Pakistan, when it wants to honor a terrorist and says that Afzal Guru was a freedom fighter and that his body should be returned to his family, which is absolutely absurd interference in India's internal affairs. In other words, it is admitted that it is sponsoring and is kind of partnering the terrorist attacks on India, number one. Number two, as far as India is concerned, Pakistan has formally declared itself an enemy country. There can be no further kind of talk, dialogue, friendship, and so on and so forth. We must stop inviting Pakistani parliamentarians and feeding them biryani and kebab each time they come here and having dialogue with them. There is nothing to talk about. They have declared their intent. They are giving us a warning that 2014 the US and NATO will withdraw from Afghanistan. So they are planning to invade and occupy Jammu and Kashmir. That they will get a bloody nose, as they have always got when they have tried to do this, is another matter. But some people never learn. But all right, so we must get ready. We must get ready for the aar-paar ki ladai, as we have often talked about, that this way or that way is going to happen. Pakistan is itching for it, and so they must get it. And the Indian Parliament should in turn tell Pakistan that, okay, we've got your point, and now we shall meet outside parliamentary norms, parliamentary democracy and everything. We shall see who has greater strength and who does not. And this time it will really be a fight to the finish.
Admiral, may I get you in on this? Why this provocation? I mean, what is the reason for this provocation? Carrying out a suicide attack in which two Pakistani, terrorists died yesterday and killed 5 CRPF jawans. What is the need for the provocation by passing this assembly resolution?
I think the very fact that you are doing this program is provocation.
Really?
There is a difference. You have to differentiate between a terrorist and a freedom fighter. Guru was a freedom fighter, and the Kashmir is not the internal part of India.
So,
this is not only known to the world, it is there in United Nations. So as long as any freedom fighter is giving his life for his nation, he will be honored.
So tell me one thing. Tell me one thing, Admiral. Tell me one thing, Admiral. One minute. First of all, I'll tell you one thing. As I began by saying, India is a country far more powerful. India is a country far greater. And India is a country also far more tolerant. That's why, the tolerance levels are now being tested, Admiral. I am asking you today, what happened to your country's tolerance? One minute. Well, 1 minute. One minute. Admiral. Admiral, my question is...
You are far weaker than what you think.
That's all right. That's your assumption. We know 1971, you remember 1971. When a resolution on Baluchistan was introduced in the US Congress, why did you react angrily? Why did Gilani wax eloquent about how a resolution on Baluchistan in the US Congress is an attack on your country's sovereignty? Tell me tonight. Why did you react now
Look, you
like
see,
that then?
You only toe line of Washington. Sometimes you toe line of Moscow. You don't have any independent status. You don't really and have enough courage. If Pakistan is wrong, then why don't you teach Pakistan a lesson?
No, this is now getting to unreasonable territory, Admiral.